Alright, welcome back, guys. It's a new week, so we got a new chapter of My Hero Academia, which this week is chapter 122, so you know we gotta review it, alright? So this week, to start things off, the biggest thing that happened was the announcement of the Big Three. When 121 ended last week, we kind of got to see the silhouette of the guy that was going to be selected to carry on All Might's torch, but, you know, obviously All Might ended up choosing Deku, but we kind of got to see what the dude looked like from the back, so to speak. So we got to see his silhouette. And this week, I think we actually got to see who he was. Sadly, it didn't drop a name, but it kind of showed us his face. And he actually looked pretty goofy, you know. I still don't have a handle on what his power is, but it looks like he can phase through or peer through objects, because we saw his face show up in the wall, we saw his face show up in the ground. So who knows what his power actually is, but that kind of gives us a little bit of idea of somewhat what he can do, you know. But we kind of got to see him this weekend. We found out that he's part of the Big Three. The Big Three being the best of the best at UA, which in this case is 3 strong third years. So that's pretty much all the information we got on that. We didn't get a name. We didn't get a name of the other 2 third years either. But we kind of got to see, you know, who's the best of the best at UA. And just by looking at these guys, they look like they might be badass. I wish we would have gave a little more information, but like I said, it didn't. But I'm wondering, am I the only one who thinks these guys kind of remind me of Naruto again? Of Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura? It just seems like the artist of My Hero Academia he gets a lot of influence from Naruto. Even the dark-haired guy who's part of the Big Three, he kind of reminds me of Sasuke. So I don't know. No, there's nothing wrong with getting inspiration, but every time I read My Hero Academia, I kind of get that Naruto vibe. You know, obviously some things are different. It's different settings, different backgrounds, different plot points, stuff like that. But you know, you can kind of tell that there's definitely a lot of Naruto inspiration. But other than that, we also got to figure out the repercussions of Bakugo and Deku's fight from last week's chapter, or I guess 2 weeks ago's chapter. And you know, we kind of got to see that really it wasn't too bad, so to speak. Deku was pretty much on house arrest for 3 days. Bakugo got 4. But you can tell that it ate Deku up, because during those 3 days, they missed a lot of potentially important information, you know. It set them back a little bit, and the classmates weren't really allowed to tell what they learned in those 3 days. So Deku was eating up about it, having to catch up, and being left behind. And really, Bakugo was Bakugo. He really didn't give a damn. So, in terms of this chapter, I liked it because it gave a little information, but obviously there was no action. So, obviously, you know, the chapters with action are always more fun than the chapters that just give you information. But we'll take what we can get. It's My Hero Academia. I love the manga. I love the direction it's going. So we'll take what we can get. I am curious to see what's so great about these Big Three, and I'm definitely curious to see what's so great about the guy that All Might originally was going to select. Just looking at him, he looks pretty strong, but we don't really have a handle on what his powers are, what he can do, and we don't know what the other 2 can do either. So I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen with that, you know, kind of see if we get some background information on those guys, find out what their quirks are, and stuff like that. So hopefully that drops next week, but sadly we're going to have to wait for that chapter to come out. Well, as always, guys, that's going to do it for this week's review. I really enjoyed the chapter. I'm more interested in next week's chapter than this week's, but, you know, we all love action, so that's why we read it. So hopefully we get some good stuff happening next week. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you like the review, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like the review, I'm sorry, but, you know, it is what it is. You're entitled to your opinion. But thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm Heroes Come Back 2. Peace.